Good morning. Hello, hello. How are you? Let me know when you're on. Make sure to say hello. I'm Teresa with Teresa Rene Art. Good morning. Sorry I missed you guys last week. I am feeling much better. Thank you to those who sent me a note. You guys made me feel so good last week. I ended up with some kind of head cold, and I still have probably a little bit of a sinus infection, but I am much better. Thank you, Sue, for my note on the glasses. I got them. Yay. Hello, Stacy. Hi, Cindy. Yeah, so I'm still a little stopped up and nasally, but I do feel much better this morning. So I'm probably going to have to go to the doctor and get something for like a sinus infection, but anyway, it is what it is. It happens. Good morning, Denise. Hello. We're going to do a steampunk project today. I'm going to try to keep it at an hour. I don't know. Hopefully. Hello, Karen. Good morning. Happy weekend, guys. Hope you guys are doing great. I know it's like if I get a cold, it just lingers forever. And I actually usually end up getting bronchitis. So I'm knocking on wood and hopefully I don't get bronchitis. But anyway, elderberry juice. Okay, I'll have to look at that. I've been taking my Zyrtec every day. So anyway, but yeah, so a couple weeks ago we talked about doing a steampunk project next, and I'm ready for you to do that. I'm ready to do that. We're going to use these two paint kits, the rust and the patina, because I love combining rusty colors and patina colors. So we're going to kind of layer and play around with some rusty and patina, kind of a combination of both of those. Hello, Catherine. Hi, Dana. Good morning, everybody. Let me turn my camera down. Let's go ahead and get started. I don't want to waste any time this morning because I have a full day ahead of me. Hello, Mara. Good morning. So I did a little bit of prep work, and I actually meant to look up what this panel was. Bear with me 1 second. Let me see if I can actually find the panel that I'm using. It is a handcrafted holiday traditions panel. It's a 2-piece panel. Let's see. Am I seeing it? No, I don't see it here. Let me try one more thing. It is a 2-piece panel. Basically what it has this base, which is 7 inches by 11 inches. And then it has this piece, which is a smaller kind of rectangle. The smaller piece is about, it's just a little over, it's like 6 1/10 by like 10 inches. So it's like a 2-piece plaque. And I'm trying to find if I can see the code. I don't know if Sue, if you can try to find it maybe on the Decoupage Queen site, or if any of the retailers are on that know which one this is. But I like it because it's pretty basic and it's a good straightforward piece for us to work with for this steampunk piece. I couldn't find the name of it, but anyway, so we're going to do, and it's also very conducive to layering. I have already done a little bit of prep work. What I did was I took, I've actually done a similar project to this before, so it's really cool. But I took this mold. This is the La Blanche steampunk plates, and I don't know if anybody still has this. But it's possible if you can find, you could probably find some castings. If not, but if anybody does have this, feel free to share your links. This is steampunk plates, and I actually casted that twice. And then I layered it on, and look at that, you guys. It fits this little piece perfectly. So I'm super thrilled about that. And because I just wanted to get some good, like, foundational background texture. And these, kind of measure out when they're casted, they sort of measure out all the same. So just a really good, nice set for some background texture. And I think it was called Steampunk Plates, but I'm not positive. So I started that. I did go ahead and glue that down already because I just wanted to save a little bit of time. We're going to coat this in like rust. All right. Thank you, Mara. Appreciate that. We're going to coat this in rusty paint. And then we're going to lay some things over the top. We're going to coat those in patina paint. And then our mannequin is going to be a little more rusty. So I've got a whole layout here, and we're going to kind of like do alternating color schemes of patina, rust, patina, rust. Okay, Sue, sorry about that. Maybe Pam will pop on. If I find it, I will see. Let's see. I'm going to do one more thing. Hold on. I'm going to do one more thing while I just for a minute here. Let's see. I should keep these things in the package before I use them. Bear with me 1 minute. I'm just gonna see if I can pull it up real quickly on my other site. Let's see. Oh, actually, you know what? This is not I take it back. This is not it's not a handcrafted holiday traditions plaque. It's an old AV Studios plaque, but I'm sure that Pam would love to make us something similar if I give her these dimensions. So I will probably do that. This would also work on, you guys know that little Michael's plaque that I like. It'll also work on that. So what I'm going to do for this little background piece, I was kind of rummaging through some of my old papers, you guys, and I found this one. This is an oldie but a goodie, and this is called The Staircase. It is like, it's numbered like in the 160s, so it is a pretty. This is like going way back from the vault. This is retired, but I think we actually do have some left. It's called The Staircase, and I've got this one in A3. Let's see. Let me look at it. It is number, here we go. It's number 163, DQRP 0163. It's called The Staircase. And I have this in A3 and A4 size. So sorry, Sue. I'm sorry I sent you on a wild goose chase. But I'm going to use this side of it. And I'm going to get this because look at all this beautiful blue kind of patina color in there. And I'm not even going to bother painting it white because I think in this case, the grungy aspect is going to help it. So I'm just going to rip this in half so I don't have all this extra stuff to deal with. And then I'm just going to use like this side of it and make sure. So yeah, so we'll kind of do it like this here. There we go. Perfect. All right, so let me, and then in fact, I'll just go ahead and trim this off too, so I'm not worried about any edges. Yeah, so I don't have the AV Studios plaque anymore, but I'm sure I thought I remembered that Pam has something similar. She sometimes pops on, so if she pops on, or if anybody can reach her this morning talking about Pam to Spain, we can ask her what she has that would work too. But y'all remember the little 5x9 or 6x9 plaque that I used a week or so ago? It's those same dimensions. All right, so I'm just getting a layer of decoupage glue on here. And it doesn't have, this one doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be covered up by that top board anyway. So it's going to look a little rough probably, but that's okay. Good morning, Robin. Hello, Lisa. Hey, guys. How's everybody's weather? It got cold again here this week. It was in the 20s this week. I think that's part of it, too, is like my sinuses just can't handle all these weather shifts, you know? It's like, come on, just decide where we want to be. And let's stay there for a little while. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to flatten this out. I love the texture in this paper. Oh my gosh. And I don't know, like, I'm looking at it and I'm suddenly going, why have I not used this paper like, where has this paper been all my life? Well, it's been sitting here. It's in the retired section, you guys. It's on sale. So many good things in our vault, you guys, like just waiting to be rediscovered. Is like, I think sometimes this is what happens, y'all. And I want to caution y'all on this, but I think what happens sometimes is we get so excited about the shiny new things and we forget that some of our favorites are, you can actually use papers more than once. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to just use it once and forget about it. You can go back and rediscover a new way to incorporate some of your favorite color, even like color. So I chose this for that color scheme that I'm going for with that patina and the rust, you know. So anyway, hello everybody. Okay, here's the tags from Pam. Okay, awesome. You got some, yes, tags would work for sure. Definitely tags would work. Hi, Diane. How are you? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and dry this. Any of the Andy Skinner papers would work too. All right, we got that started on drying. Let's move this off to the side. Let's go ahead and do our rust layer. We're going to do a rust layer here. While I'm at it, I'm trying to think if I want to do that yet. No, let's hold on that for a second. I was going to say, do we want to go ahead and do the rust layer on our mannequin? But I think I'm going to hold on that until we get there. So we'll do it a little bit more systematically. So we have this paint kit. This is the paint set for Rust Effect. And this is how we create the look of rust without using any chemicals to create actual rust. Pentart does have a kit that will create real rust, which is really cool. But that's not what we're using today. So this kit, I showed, did I show you guys this? No, I don't think I showed y'all this recently. I was in a separate group recently where I showed this. But this kit comes with 3D powder. It comes with this color paint, which is, where are my glasses? Here they are. This one is red brown. This one is red clay. This one is earthy brown, my favorite color. And this one is ochre. So we're going to start with these two, the darker colors first, the earthy brown, and we're going to start with the red brown. We're going to start with those first. And we'll just go ahead. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get a little paper plate so I'm not messing up my work table so much today. And put a little bit of this paint down. I always just take these tips off because it's easier to maneuver out of the bottle. So we're starting with these two. I am going to mix a little bit of 3D powder in there as well. Like I said, it comes with 3D powder, and it's the medium texture that it comes with. So let's mix a little bit of that in this mixture as well. And that just kind of creates the kind of rusty, crusty look, you know, of rust, right? Get a little palette knife, and I'll blend that in with a little palette knife. And if you want more, you can add more. Okay. All right, so let's get that in here. When you're doing this, use a brush that you don't care too much about, you guys, because your brush will get kind of globby and nasty. So I always kind of work, like start with the darker color and work my way up. This might be a good opportunity for us to throw in some of those like brocante powders too. Some of the new stuff from Pentart. We can try it and just play around with some of those things. Let's see. I do too, Mara. You guys, if anybody has these products in their shops and wants to share the links, feel free. There are plenty of places to find them for sure. So now I'm just kind of alternating, and what's happening is I'm not cleaning my brush in between. I'm just sort of dabbing here, dabbing here, dabbing here, and I'm getting various degrees of orange color because just by virtue of me not cleaning my brush, it has the effect of kind of blending that darker color in with the brighter color. And I'm kind of just going around randomly here to create a base look. So you get the hang of this. You know, it does take a little bit of practice, but the trick really, if I had to say, the trick is not to overthink it, just to kind of touch and dab, touch and dab, touch and dab, and keep going. Don't overthink it. Because if you start overthinking the color layout and the schema, you know, the schema or whatever, and does it look realistic or not, then it's going to look forced. So we're trying to just kind of help it to look, you know, everything. And when this happens in nature, it's going to do so very randomly and not in any kind of pattern per se. All right, so now we're going to switch gears and we're going to come in with some of the lighter shades. This is the red clay, and this is the ochre. And I'm not drying. I want to do this with wet paint because, again, we're going for subtlety. I want it to look like these were kind of naturally occurring within the pattern and not like just painted over. Okay. So you can see I'm touching, I didn't clean my brush again, and I'm just kind of touching this orange randomly here and there. A lot of this you're not going to see anyway, just because it's going to be covered up by all the stuff that I'm going to go in and layer on top. And then don't discount the importance of the yellow. It really does. It does something really, really cool. And sometimes you might look at rust and you might go like, I don't see any yellow in there. But when you start applying it, you kind of go, oh, well, that makes sense. It just sort of lightens. Think of it as like a lightener. You know, so it kind of doesn't create like a pure yellow. It more kind of creates a lighter brown or a lighter orange or something like that. And so just introduces another layer of depth, if you will. And I usually try to tone down my orange with the yellow because I do think that the orange, this one here, this lighter orange, I do think sometimes that one can look a little bit unnatural. So this is what we have with rust, you guys. You know, I'm going to save the turquoise. I like putting turquoise blue in also, but I like to do that as a kind of a final highlight. And so I'm going to save that one for later. And then now I'm just going to kind of analyze it and see what else do we think it needs. This one needs to be dotted. I think it looks pretty good. I might go a little bit lighter here in this corner, maybe a little bit kind of just along the corners, just to sort of maybe to show the separation of the pieces a little bit. Because it's not one solid piece, right? They are individual. So, okay, so I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna leave it here. And then let's dry, all right? Yeah, it looks like, you know what, before we start drying, let's do just a little razzle dazzle. I haven't done this before, but I want to try it. So I'm going to take a little bit of brocante powder. This is a new powder, and it's actually meant to produce kind of aging effects on, and you just sort of kind of sprinkle it onto wet paint, and it gives it a little bit more like a kind of a salty texture, you know. And so I'm just going to do that here. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of brocante powder onto my rust, and then I'm going to take it and kind of gently mash it in. And that's just going to give it a little bit of kind of a little bit more oxidation look, or just a little bit more texture. And I sprinkled that right into the wet paint. Yeah, so that's the brocante powder. We'll play with that some more with the patina as well. All right, so let me dry this. I'm going to close these up. I am going to break them back out, but let me close them up and let me dry this, and then we'll start working on our next layers. Yeah, exactly. Add some texture. We love the texture. Love, love, love. Okay. Close these guys up. You don't necessarily have to have a special paint kit. If you have colors in your arsenal that look like this. These are matte acrylic paints. Matte paints are going to work better than glossy. If you have matte paints in these colors, you can do the same thing. Okay, the good thing about matte acrylics is they dry super fast. Let's go ahead and sand off our backboard piece here. You're not going to see much of it coming through because this is going to kind of cover most of it, but it's still going to have a nice element of drama to it, and I really think this was the perfect paper. Again, this one was called the Staircase, you guys, and it is a retired. It's like probably 4 years old at this point, and I can't believe that we still have some left. Okay. The Staircase. And again, the retailers, if you guys have any, feel free to share it. All right. Let's see here. Okay. All right. All right. I'm going to dry this one more time. They do. They make it so easy, don't they? And I think I opened my first kit about 4 years ago, and that's what I've been using, and I'm only just now needing to break into a new one. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the top. Look how cool that looks with that background behind it. Why don't we go ahead and we'll just go ahead and glue that down just to save us a little bit of time, because you're going to start what you're going to start to see happen is the whole piece gradually taking shape, kind of a layer at a time. So what happened here? You know, my view has gotten a little messed up. I'm not sure what happened here. Let's go. I don't know. I've lost can't see my comments anymore. Bear with me 1 minute, y'all. No, I don't want to do that. There we go. Okay, I'm back. I think I'm back. Reset. I want to reset my screen. There we go. Okay, so I have reset my screen. I am back to normal. All right, so now I'm just going to take this. I could have sworn that Pam had something almost exactly like this, y'all. that was a two-piece kind of kind of a basic plaque thing. I'll look and see if I have any more. I don't know if I do. All right. So let's glue that down. I'm using heavy body gel to stick my things down. That looks pretty good. All right, let's move on to patina layers. So this is our base layer. And then on top of that, before we put our final mannequin and wings, we're gonna do some gears and a little frame. And we're gonna do all of these in patina colors. So I've got all these little castings. These are just various Finnabair castings, you guys, from some of her stuff. Finnabair has lots of cool smaller little pieces and bobs and stuff. So we're going to do all of this in like patina colors. Hopefully, I think that should cover it. And then we'll decide what we want to do with our wings and stuff last. All right, so let's switch gears to patina colors. I am going to do, some 3D powder in my patina as well. This one actually doesn't come with 3D powder. It comes with an extra paint color instead. But I will tell you, I really, really love, I love putting texture in the patina colors as well. So that's what we're going to do. All right. So let's just start with getting some of these. The colors that comes in this kit: antique copper, mint, turquoise blue, turquoise, and country green. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to kind of start darkest and work our way up to lightest. And we will do the same technique that we use with the rust. We will use here as well. Okay. And we're going to paint all of these pieces with those patina colors. Good morning, Kimberly. I'm trying to keep my work surface a little cleaner today. Can y'all believe my son just turned 12? I'm like, in one more year, it's a house full of teenagers. I cannot believe it. I'm like, where is the time going? I remember when they were all like little, following me around. Mommy, mommy, mommy. Oh, it's just crazy. It is crazy. All the time goes by so fast, just so fast. I know. They're so sweet, though. They're still so sweet. I feel very lucky. I have such good kids. All right. So I'm just going to mix that the same way. Let's just kind of blend it in and try not to mix my colors together too much here. Okay, so let me grab, I'm going to start with this color. This is the like copper color, and I'm just going to kind of start dabbing this on to all these pieces. This is like your base color. This is what is like supposed to represent copper, because patina, patina forms usually over this color patina anyway. The green patina generally forms over copper. So you need an underneath layer of this color. And you'll leave a little bit peeking through. We'll also use some waxes maybe to bring some of that brassy, coppery color back out. If we did the rust correctly, you guys, if we had done that correctly, I would have used, my first layer would have been a metallic silver, like a lead kind of or iron color, because rust develops over, you know, usually silver metals. Okay, so but I had the black on there, so I just sort of used the black to sub in for the darker silver, and I just don't have any silver showing through because the whole piece is rusty. So anyway, I did skip that step. Generally, I would put a coat of like a dark silver. The kit doesn't come with it, but that's generally what I would do. So trying to keep this at 1 hour today. Okay, so now I am going to come in with these darker ones, and I'm going to start dabbing those in. Here and there. Starting with the turquoise blue. And I'm just doing this all at once. Let me actually clean my brush. Now I'm going to move to this one, the turquoise. And I'm going to kind of do that next to the turquoise blue. Here and there. Oh, I forgot a little key here. Sorry, little key. Let's get you. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to come in with this lighter one here, and we're going to start lightening it up. This is really where you see it kind of start to, I probably use more of this than any of them. Yeah, Finnabair has, in my opinion, I think they have the best steampunk type molds. So I just used a variety of theirs. It doesn't have to be these exact ones. There are so many to choose from, and I wouldn't even begin to be able to tell you what the names of them were. We do have, you know, there are plenty of shops that have Finnabair stuff. Including many of the RC retailers. Okay. All right. So you can sort of see like what's happening now is gradually most of that brass starts to get either kind of covered up completely or sort of dry brushed. Okay. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to do the lightest color. And then this is when it really kind of starts to pop and sort of ties it all together, is when this lightest, this is like the final layer of oxidation. And I like to put this one on a little thick too, because it sort of feels like this is your crust, right? That forms. And everything else is in the process of becoming this crust. It's like, this is what the patina is aspiring to be when it grows up, is this beautiful, light, crusty layer. And then I think it's a good opportunity to throw that brocante powder over the top, just to kind of drive that point home that this is this is the happiness, right? This is the sweet spot. All right, so while that color is still wet, let me get this brocante powder back out, and let's just sprinkle that right into that lighter color. And I'm being a little bit more generous here than I was over the rest. It did look a little bit unnatural over the rest, and here it definitely looks a lot more natural. Okay, so let's dry. I'm a little bit out of frame down there, y'all. Let me sorry about that. All right, let me dry, close these up, and then we can start gluing these down. Okay, you guys, I'm going to show you a close-up of this piece, and I want you to look at all that texture that we created by we added the 3D powder inside the paint, and then we added the brocante powder on top. I mean, that is just super delicious texture. I did lay this out ahead of time, y'all, so I'm going to cheat. And I'm going to lay it out kind of the same. This one goes on here. This one goes here. This one goes here. And then this one kind of goes up here. And then this one kind of goes here. Let's see, maybe one here. And then here. And then maybe we put a key or something. And then maybe a key here. So this one I had here. This one I had here. And then this one is just going to go on top just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing, you guys. Let me go ahead and do that. I will give y'all some choices. I know everybody loves to vote. I do have some choices that you need to make. And this one is a pretty big decision. So don't feel left out. I know I'm not being as interactive today. Don't feel left out. We do have some choices coming. Sometimes on these uneven spots, you got to put the heavy body gel on a little bit thicker where they're going to touch so that it's going to grab. If you need to put some supports of like cardboard or something underneath to build up your bases, you can certainly do that as well. It can be a little bit challenging when you're layering uneven pieces or you have ridges but the trick is kind of you can put the heavy body gel on a little bit thicker than you think you need to, and then go in and clean it up with a brush if it seeps out. Because the thicker you put it on, the better it will grab. And I always use heavy body gel and glossy, y'all, for these types of areas because it does dry clear. So if you don't clean up all your spots, it's just going to be clear underneath. Let's put a little gear there. And maybe something here. Okay, let me get a little brush and I can come in and clean up all this unsightly residue. You just want it nice and thick under there, so it won't slide around. You know, you could even put some little gears. That actually kind of looks cool. Put some little trinkets in the corner there too. All right, let's see. All right, now let's go ahead and get this guy on. And basically what I've done is I've created an even surface for my frame to lay on top of. So we'll get our frame on. There are several fun steampunk type frames that you could use. I just chose this one because I like it. And I have put in a few like keyhole kind of elements too. Okay. You can do this with any color scheme, doesn't have to be the colors. You know, if you wanted to use red and brown or something, you know what I mean? So like, it's just, all I'm doing here is just kind of layering kind of complementary colors. Okay. All right. Okay. Now we have a mannequin. This is the Wings of Beauty mold. We're going to make a decision here. Before we do that, I'm going to clean my workspace. We're going to make a decision about the wings and which wings we want to use, because there are two sets of wings with that mold. You guys, the Wings of Beauty mold is now 20 bucks. It is priced to make room for new ones. So if you don't have this one, you definitely want to get it, because we will not be making any more of those. This is the last time we'll be offering these. So once these are gone and sold out and they're priced at $20 now, this is the Wings of Beauty mold. So if you didn't get it when it first came out, it's might be a good idea to grab it if you like it. Okay, so, and of course, if anybody has it, feel free to share it. All right, so here's the mannequin piece. The decision that we have to make now is what wings do we want to use? So these wings here, we can configure like this. We could do it like this, where these large wings are floating up. And I love that her, the neck of this sort of sits right there. We're also going to put, there's the little crown. I have a little crown somewhere. Oh, here it is. We're going to put this little crown right here. We might have to move that over just a touch. So we're going to put this crown there. I'm going to have to move that over just a little bit. There we go. Yep, to center her. So we're going to put that. Okay, so we could do the wings going up like that. Or we can do them going down like this. And I did cut off, there's some little, you guys, and you can totally cut your molds to make them, see these little pieces here? Where are they? This little piece right here, this little knot. I cut that off to make it so I wouldn't have to glue the mannequin on top. Okay, so that these wings would kind of curve more to her body. So we can either be going up or down. So I'll show you again. It's an MDF piece, Lynn. So we can either go up, and y'all vote. Tell me what you want. This is viewer's choice. Up or down. Down. We have 2 votes for down. Mara, you can't keep voting. I see you, girl. Right, y'all are saying down. Okay, let me explain again what I did with the down wings, because when I pulled these out of the resin, in this mold, they have these little knots right here. Well, you could certainly do it like that, but I wanted it to be a little bit more conformed to the body. So what I did was I actually just took my scissors while these were still kind of pliable, and I cut that knot off so that I could just position them just like that. And I really like how that works. Down, since I'm using that makes sense. That's a good point. Yep. Yeah, so I cut that little bone off, okay? And that's another point I wanted to make. If your mold is not working for you the way it's designed, then you have the complete liberty to fix it the way that you want. Okay, I have some more decisions to make. And I'm going to let y'all decide. Now I'm looking at this piece, and I'm not convinced that we should do the rust. I was going to do this kind of rusty on top. I'm not convinced that we should do that. I had pulled out, I actually really like this paper. What I was thinking was, this is the Andy Skinner, the Japanese paper. And I was thinking about decoupaging her body in this Japanese paper, and then kind of doing like maybe this metallic antique copper everywhere else, and then seeing where that goes. What do you guys think? Are we in agreement? Trying Teresa knows another. I know. Well, you got to make it work for you, Charlotte. You got to, you know, if you don't like, you know, consider your molds and your materials as a baseline, right? It's like we can't conceive of every possibility, but if it's not working for you, change it. So we like the idea. Lynn says she likes the idea of decoupaging the Japanese on there. Okay, let's do it. Let's go ahead and paint. We'll paint this guy white here. You know, and because we really want this image, that part to pop. And I'm not sure that the rest is going to give it the effect that I want. So I'm going to take my white primer paste and I'm going to go ahead and turn this white so that I can get that paper down. And then I can always come back. I can come over the top with some wax too and finish it off really nicely. I'm not going to do the base, just the body. And I was thinking about decoupaging the wings too, but I think I'd rather just paint them. What do you guys think? Decoupage or paint the wings? So quite a few choices to make today. Decoupage or paint the wings. Me too. I love all Andy's papers. So yeah, we're going in the vault today, y'all, with the old retired papers. Okay, paint the wings and add wax. Hold on a second. I'm about to lose my stream here. I'm not plugged in. Plugged in now. There we go. Copper. Ooh. Lynn knows exactly what she wants to do. I love it. She's like, nope, this is what we're doing. You're going to paint them copper and you're going to add some umber wax. We'll see how it plays out. This, you know, by adding this Japanese paper, it's going to be quite a bit lighter than the rest of the background. So it's really going to pop. And I want the wings to do the same. So we'll see. We'll see what we need to do. I am going to start with this color and then we'll see where we go from there. And I guess this is antique copper. Lynn's like, Lynn, it's funny because Lynn's like, I can feel her. She's like, just move over. Let me do it. Scoot over. Let me take it over. And I know that only because that's how I feel sometimes when I watch people. Let me finish here. I can finish it for you. All right. It's like when I'm teaching a class, I can't tell you how many times I've taught a class and I'm with someone and I'm like, may I please paint on your project? I'm like, allow me. All right, here we go. We're going to take these. We're going to paint them in this color here. And believe it or not, y'all, I mean, we are almost done. It will start to kind of all materialize. You know what that tells me? It just tells me that you're invested in the project, right? I was like, oh, we got your attention. All right. So I'm going to paint these in this antique color. Who knows? We will add some wax. Maybe, maybe even a little fire gold or something fun. I don't know. We'll see where this goes, but I'm just getting a base color on here. Even like gold and silver would be nice. I'm not going too like brassy copper. I'm not quite doing that, although I do have some red. We'll see. Okay, that's all I can say. We'll see. But even maybe, even what could be nice here is some dry brushing with even just some plain white to kind of age it versus going darker with the wax. All right, so we got those painted. Let's see about our mannequin. Is she ready to decoupage? Let me clean her up a little bit more here. All right, and I want to use this part here that has all this beautiful script. So I'm just going to tear out a piece that I think will fit and lay that on. And then I'm going to sand around it. So I'm not trying to be precise here because I'm going to get this glued down and then I'm going to sand it. I actually had so the reason I chose this paper, y'all, is because at one point I actually had an old antique vintage mannequin that had some Japanese writing. It was like one of those wolf mannequins from the 1950s or something. And it had this beautiful Asian script on it. I don't know if it was Japanese or what, but so like when I created this mold, I have had so many things go through my head about how I wanted to use it. So I definitely plan to use this particular mold for many, many years to come because I still have even more ideas of how to use it. I mean, I can use it at Christmas time to create a pretty Christmas angel. So just a very versatile piece. Can really lend itself to almost any style. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do my layer. And I'm just decoupaging right over the top of that mold. And it's going to kind of conform to the surface. And then once it dries, we'll come in and we'll just take our sandpaper and we'll clean it up. Okay. All right, so let's Hey, Tammy. All right. So now I'm just going to take and just sort of tear out, clean up my edges here, just like you would, you know, anything else. We got extra that we don't need. You could certainly decoupage over the wings. You know what would be kind of fun? I think if you did decided you wanted to decoupage on the wings, I think doing it in this staircase paper would be kind of fun, but we're not going to do that. We're going to keep it clean and classic. So now it really looks like an old-timey vintage mannequin, right? Look at that. I love that. I'm like just tickled pink with that look right there. All right, let's go ahead. Let's paint this brass down here. Let me use a better brush. I'm going to paint this brass down here. And then I'm actually just going to come in along the sides and kind of clean up my edges a little bit with that paint, tie it in. Up here. All right, so there we go. That neck just sort of sits right in this cavity here. And then this one sits right there on top. I mean, to be honest, I think it looks really pretty just like that. All those colors flow very nicely together. But let's see what else we can do. All right, let's glue these down. All right, let's glue these down. It is definitely. I almost think less is more on the top pieces. Is just kind of let them be who they are, maybe. But you know, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put some wax on there for sure. But if you decided, you know, this was enough for you, I could definitely get behind that decision. Okay. So give yourself permission to stop too. If it starts to feel complete, don't let anybody tell you need to keep going. But I really can't do a piece without putting some sort of finishing wax element on. I don't think I am physically capable of that. So of course we're going to put some wax on there somehow. I'm glad we decided on down. I think that was the right choice. And then this, I did break it on purpose because I knew otherwise it was going to sort of protrude out and not have anywhere to rest on. So I just sort of broke it, and we're just kind of lining it up here to give it the illusion of being seamless there. Now let's take our stuff. Again, we're cleaning up. Okay, so I like this. I like it a lot. One thing I want to do before I move on is I actually want to take some of these spots where the rust is showing through behind my gears. I actually want to tone down this rust a little bit and put some of this blue back behind there. Just to kind of keep it flowing. Not everywhere, just kind of here and there. Just right there was bothering me. This part right here was kind of bothering me a little bit. So I think that's okay. It's not like I just toned it down a little bit, like, and maybe in here too. Let's put a little bit up in here. I'm kind of looking at the camera to see what needs to be tweaked. You love it. I love it too. All right, let me dry. I do think we need some shadowing, so let's do a little bit of our magic work with some of the kind of toning down some of the colors behind our angel with some brown. I'm going to spray, and I'm just going to take some of this brown kind of behind our angel here and behind our wings, so that it's not so bright around there, so that she stands out more. Okay, so I'm just taking some brown antiquing gel, and I'm sort of doing this little outline. You guys, this should not be new. Hopefully y'all see me do this plenty of times by now. Okay, so just to give her a little bit more center stage, and then I'll use that to sort of outline her form as well. All right, now let's dry one more time. Okay. I'm going to do something different. White okay. I'm going to do something a little bit different, you guys. I could definitely come in with some glaze or some umbra and darken those up and sink down in those details. But in this case, I'm not going to. I'm going to actually go the opposite direction. And I'm actually going to use white antique paste, and I'm going to use sparkling silver antique paste. And we're going to make these wings look a little bit more regal instead of distressed. And so we're going to start with the white. And so what's happening there is that bronze is sort of acting as the darker color, and the white is acting as the contrast. If you did do the antiquing, I would recommend you do the antiquing gel and then go in with the antiquing gel and then wipe it back pretty well. Okay, that you could, I mean, that would certainly give this another nice look, but I'm actually a little bit short on time here. So I am speeding ahead and skipping that antiquing gel step, which I think would be another beautiful element. But instead, I am just kind of doing the opposite and creating my highlights with a white antique paste. Okay. Now I'm going to come in with sparkling silver, which is one of my absolute favorites. And we're going to apply that over the top just a little bit. I'm not going crazy with it, just to give these wings a little bit of sparkle. And then we're going to do the same thing with the crown. You guys, and then I'm actually going to call it done here. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to do one more thing. No, I think I'm okay. I think I'm going to call it done here. You could certainly take some like brass wax and highlight some of your rusty areas or kind of play with that. In fact, the more I look at this, like tomorrow as it sits, I'm probably going to do a little bit more. Let me just kind of show you if I have brass wax over here. I'll probably do a little bit more highlighting in some areas with some, this one. This is the brass antiquing paste. And let me just show you what I'm talking about. Like, so on some of these kind of rust areas, you can just kind of come in and, maybe make those look a little bit more metallic, or just add a little bit of highlight, add some highlights to some of your textures down here. Very subtle. You don't need anything strong because these are just background elements. These are not the main star, right? So it's just a very subtle to make it look a little bit more natural. Okay, so you can do that. But overall, I would say I am very, very pleased with this. I think it's gorgeous. And I love, I love the color schemes that we chose. It's a little bit steampunk, but a little bit classic, right? So thank you guys for being with me. I'm going to call it done here, and I will see you again next week. We'll do something else equally fun. we will go from there. So hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you're ready to play. And all right, y'all. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.